What kind of experience is it to see the most terrifying existence in the universe once? Eighth place, aliens. Although scientists believe that the discovery of aliens is only a matter of time, but compared to being able to find alien life, what is even more frightening is that there is no other life in the universe. For example, in a pond, there is either a school of fish or no fish. If there is only one fish, it means that it can only be a fish tank. If the alien culture clearly exists, then they may be the people who are observing the fish tank at the moment. In other words, aliens are terrifying not because of how terrifying their appearance is, but we don't know what form they will exist in, and what they will do to us when they discover the Earth. Seventh place, fear of the walking star. According to astronomical data, the number of moving stars in the observable universe exceeds 6 trillion, which is more than the sand on the Earth. There are at least 1 billion stars in the Milky Way alone, and among these star spheres, there are countless terrifying stars. For example, there is one in our solar system, and that is Jupiter. Based on the existing astrotheoretic models and the results of a large number of computational machine models, scientists have inferred that Jupiter began to kill as early as 400 to 500 million years ago when the Taiyang system was formed. He personally destroyed all the candidates for the Earth, which can be called a star meat grinder. If it weren't for the gravitational resonance of Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune to stabilize Jupiter's orbit, it could even destroy the entire solar system. If you think Jupiter is not scary enough, there are many other feared star spheres in the Milky Way, such as the planet that rains glass every day, and the stars that are completely dark, and the magnitude of the moving star that is larger than the Earth's sphere. Sixth place, zombie galaxy. The so-called zombie galaxy refers to those galaxies that have exhausted their energy, which are full of darkness and death, and the Buddha is a cold and lonely object. Although these galaxies appear red at the very last moment, it is because they will burn out the last remaining spiritual disaster. The terrifying thing about zombie galaxies is that they can reveal the fate of all galaxies in the universe. When the universe enters the final dark age, when all photons and energy no longer exist, the universe is left with endless coldness and dead silence. No. 5. Supernova explosion. This is the largest explosion in the universe. Under normal circumstances, when a violent massive star reaches the end of its life, its internal fusion fuel will be exhausted. Not only will the outer material of the star collapse due to the inability to resist gravity, but it will be squeezed to the core of the core, and then move forward under strong gravitational potential. In this instant, all material will be thrown outward at the speed of light and radiated into the surrounding interstellar space, eventually forming a terrifying supernova explosion. Among them, the amount of energy released by the explosion is equivalent to the total radiation of the entire galaxy system for hundreds of years, which can instantly wipe out all life within a range of 50 light-years. At the same time, during the explosion process, the first killer in the universe, a gamma-ray explosion, will be released. Fourth place, black hole. This is a devouring giant beast that escapes in the universe, which can not only devour all the objects that appear in its orbit, but even light cannot escape, and once subverted all human knowledge of physics. And the terrible thing about it is that we still have no way of understanding what it really is. It is known that there are two types of black holes. One is called a stellar black hole, and its mass is about 3 to 1,000 times that of the Sun. These black holes are usually formed when a massive star explodes and collapses when a supernova erupts. The other type is a supermassive black hole, which can reach the terrifying millions to billions of times the mass of the Sun. For example, there is a supermassive black hole in the center of the Milky Way, which is currently frantically devouring everything in the Milky Way. But we don't know how this kind of supermass black hole is formed. In addition, they are not completely visible, so the only way we can discover a black hole is to observe how it interacts with the surrounding celestial bodies, and whether it is a wormhole or a space dimension in the world inside the black hole. Humanity may never know. Third place, KBC Hollow. Suppose we set off from Earth on a light-speed spacecraft to the depths of the universe, and although we will encounter various extremely dangerous celestial bodies on the way, you will soon find out. Compared to the entire observable universe, I am in a terrifying and empty area, and the density of galaxies here is pitifully low. Even the large-scale structure of the universe, including the Laniakea supercluster, is like an ant. This is called the superdesert of the universe, a KBC space cavity spanning 2 billion light-years. Humans and the Milky Way happen to be located at the center of it, and even if they were in a light-speed spaceship, it would take 1,000 years to leave here. It is like a cosmic cage that is terrifying, enough to make humans despair. What's even more frightening is that scientists have found that the existence of KBC voids seems to violate some basic principles in cosmology. Because it is based on the theoretical model of quantum fluctuations in the distribution of matter after the explosion of the universe, the upper limit of the vertical diameter of a single hole should not exceed 500 million light-years, while the specification of a KBC hole exceeds the theoretical value by 4 times. Some scientists speculate that perhaps the KBC hole is not formed naturally. Instead, it is a huge closed area deliberately designed by some higher cultures to isolate D-class cultures like humans, so as to ensure that they can develop slowly in a relatively closed environment, so that they will not be exposed to the danger information of the higher level of the outside world. At the same time, it also happened to solve the question of the human being in Feynman's paradox, which has never been able to discover the alien culture. The second place is a giant filmmaker. This is the most terrifying beast in the universe, which can not only make the Milky Way approach it at a speed of 6,000 kilometers per second, but even drag hundreds of galaxy clusters, including the Virgo galaxy cluster, in its direction. It is calculated that the gravitational source is located on Earth, 500 million light-years away. Lania. The Sharpley supercluster next to the Kia supercluster is up to 400 million light-years wide and about 10,000 times the mass of the Milky Way, and a large number of galaxies have been discovered near it. Make the black hole look like an ant in front of it. It is precisely under this extremely strong gravitational force that the Earth, the Taeyong system, and even the entire Milky Way system are moving towards the giant shadow. Rather than saying that the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way are constantly getting closer, it is better that they are all attracted by giant actors. Although it is reasonable to speculate that the giant image source may have been formed by the common gravitational force generated by the formation of various giant celestial bodies, it may be limited by the obstruction of cosmic dust or something we will never know. In this core area of matter focus, is there still a mysterious celestial body that human beings cannot imagine at the root of the human race? The first place is the size of the universe. For example, this is you. You are in a city. Your city is above the Earth. The Earth is located in the solar system. The solar system is a part of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is a part of the local galaxy group. On the internet, it is the Maiden Super New Theater and the Lania Kia Super New Theater. The Milky Way is just a small point in it. However, for humans, this scale is already huge enough. However, under the observable universe with a diameter of 93 billion light-years, it only accounts for 0.56%, and already. However, this is not a bind, and 93 billion light-years is only the largest range that human technology can see. Although scientists estimate that the entire universe is about 250 times larger than the observable universe, even so, we do not know whether the universe is really large or small, and whether the universe is infinitely large. It is precisely because of this that human beings have countless questions about the universe, such as whether the universe exists in the God-level culture, whether there are infinite parallel universes hidden in the universe, and whether the universe is a simulation of the computer, and so on. Perhaps the most terrifying thing is not in the vast universe, but in our brains full of imagination.